My name is Brian Adae. I'm one of the attorneys for
Brian what? I'm sorry, your last name?
Adae, spelled A-D-A-E. I'm one of the attorneys from the Disability Rights Center. We have had a response. First of all, the prison and the prison officials are aware and have been aware for a period of time that we were filing suit. They had been very cooperative initially at allowing us access, for the most part, to prisoners, with some exceptions. We did communicate with them, gave them, if you will, a heads up yesterday afternoon that we were filing today, which they already knew was happening. I don't know if they have a copy of the actual lawsuit yet, but they will shortly.
Some exceptions, you said.
Yes.
Tell us.
We have had problems in accessing some information in records. On the one hand, they have been very good about producing the medical records, such as they have. And they have, by and large, produced for us, as the protective and advocacy system, in reviewing this, segregation and booking records. We have asked about grievances, specifically, about grievances and complaints by prisoners, and they will not turn them over to us. They have indicated that it has to come from the individual prisoner or inmate themselves. Unfortunately, many of these individuals, when they file a grievance, are unfortunately oftentimes incapable of doing so, given their conditions. It makes it very, very difficult.
Their mental health conditions?
Yes.
Are you aware of anyone that's been, I say sentenced, I mean handed a 365-day penalty? And
yes.
Tell us about that.
Going into the individual parts, I think it would be better if you take a look at the complaint and as we go along in the discovery. But I know that we have had, I can tell you, amongst some of the individuals we've talked to, who are unnamed, that we refer to as our constituents, that are examples, have received more than 365 days and have had significant, huge mental health problems as a consequence. There is at least one or two, and again, without going into detail in our files, and we've had a lot, individuals that are plaintiffs that have received more than 365 days.
Given
historically,
given that you have 6 plaintiffs in your group, do you have your arms around how many people are put into solitary confinement over X period of time, or at any given time, or what's a typical penalty in solitary? I assume 365 is extreme.
There are records. There are reports that are produced by the prison. For example, there's an annual report that comes out that we've utilized to gather information from. Also, we've gathered information from some of the prison administration's testimony before the Special Legislative Commission on Solitary Confinement, as well as there was a quarterly report that was being given to the legislature, which we drew some of our information from. At best, and we mentioned this in the complaint, we don't have accurate data, but we can certainly, at a minimum, estimate that at least 100 individuals with SPMI receive segregation on an average in a year. I don't recall the absolute numbers that we went through, and if we're looking at numbers, we know that the prison population at present may be around 2,700 individuals. It could be as much as 3,000, which it has been. And we have been received from the former director of behavioral services, Dr. Scerbo, has estimated approximately 20% of those 2,700, 3,000, 15 to 20%, if you will, are folks with SPMI. Out of that, do we have any accurate numbers of how many go through and receive solitary? No, we don't.